He didn't lay a headstone in the garden. He didn't dig a hole and pile the dirt. He didn't take his sandals or his tunic. They were laying there beside where he was hurt. And Jesus is alive. He didn't stay inside. And he'll come back someday for those he left behind. There were two disciples running to the graveyard, but they didn't find the body they had laid. It was folded up inside the empty linen that they wrapped him in to carry him away. And Jesus is alive. He didn't stay inside. And he'll come back someday for those he left behind. He said, why are you looking for the living among the dead that you won't see again? 'Cause the grave is gonna be the same as Jesus, 'cause he died, but then he rose again. And Jesus is alive. He didn't stay inside. And he'll come back someday for those he left behind. There were Judas is alive. He didn't stay inside. And he'll come back someday for those he left behind.
There ain't no place I'd rather be on Sunday morning than the Word. I can hear the preacher preaching and the old man shouting amen every other word. On Sunday morning we raise our hands with our friends and our neighbors. We make a stand. We bow our heads and we close our eyes as the choir sings Old Rugged Cross in the morning light. It's an old tradition, but it never gets old. No, it never does. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's not who you are. It's all about whose you are. On Sunday morning we raise our hands with our friends and our neighbors. We make a stand. We bow our heads and we close our eyes as the choir sings Old Rugged Cross in the morning light. If you haven't been there, brother, don't knock it, give it a try. You just might like it. On Sunday morning we raise our hands with our friends and our neighbors. We make a stand. We bow our heads and we close our eyes as the choir sings Old Rugged Cross in the morning light.
And good morning on this beautiful Sunday morning. It is beautiful. I prefer abbreviated show, not real long. I'm going to be at church earlier. We're having a breakfast for the ladies, something the church has done for a long time. The men prepare the breakfast. Hello, Marlene. God bless you and all those that are tuning in. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. You know, this is one of those things. You know, Father's Day, Mother's Day, especially Mother's Day. I knew, you know, I've had people that was in the church for, you know, that wouldn't come to church on Father's Day. It was one particular, you know, case where the father was missing, had been missing for 20 plus years, and they don't know what happened to him. So she'd always say, preacher, I just can't come on Father's Day, you know, and, you know, it was all kind of things like that. Or, you know, like in the case of my children and for myself, you know, or, you know, the loss of my wife, you know, 2 weeks ago today. And it's going to be a tough day. It's a tough day for them, for my sons. And it's been the last couple of days, talking to them, and it's difficult. And so you may have that. I talked to a lady. I was at. Oh, we went out to eat. What it was last day. My sister, before she flew back, was talking to a waitress or someone that helped with the restaurant, and I mentioned that I lost my wife, and she said she'd lost her. Well, she mentioned when her dad passed away, her mom, excuse me, I think it was her mom, but she also mentioned, losing her husband or something. But, she was talking about how hard it was every day. My sister mentioned that for her mom, our mom, And so you get those where this could be a very hard day. It's also be a very beautiful day where a lot of great memories, especially if they're, still living, you're able to go see them, spend the day with them, have dinner. I mean, the restaurants will be packed out today as they take mom out to eat and do gifts or whatever. Or I'll find all kinds of ways to celebrate that. And certainly, sometimes there's not great relationships. Sometimes there's been problems there. So for all those reasons, though, we still have this day, and I know it's a day set aside. And some people might think, well, it's just a commercial thing, whatever. But I tell you, it's always meaningful, and it always was meaningful in the church to see those families together, sitting. A lot of times, if the mom was a part of my church, or grandma, mom, whatever, then you'd have a full row or two. A lot of times they would leave their church and come over just to be with mom or grandma or whatever, and cherish those times because we never know, right? And I'm not going to be very deep today. Like I said, we're having a breakfast, so I'm going to be on for a few minutes. I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. And we a lot of times preachers on this day, they'll go to Proverbs 31, and I get that. And some people say, well, I didn't really have that, but I do want to pick out two scriptures from there, just out of that Proverbs 31. If you want to look over there today, you probably know them well. If you don't, go look at them. But I do wanted to read 31:27. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of her idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. It's the nuclear family is so very special. Mother, father, and then children. And there's so many don't have that today. But if you had that, or you have that, then you have something that's very special. And when one is removed, there could be, the marriage breaks down, or there's things that happen, or death occurs, which has happened. It's a gut punch. It takes someone out of that, that circle that is there, and you're left with memories and a lot of emptiness. And moms, they hold things together. I mean, they hold the family together. They're doing things sacrificially. Not that dads don't, but moms just do it in a different way. And it's very hard. I mean, this is a hard day. It's a celebration, but it's also a hard day. And I talk to people every day, and they'll mention about going to see their mom, or I wish I could go see mom, or something like that. Celebrate mom, celebrate, honor father and mother, as the scriptures say. And if you and I've seen many of my friends that are already taking gifts to their mom, or they're talking about what they're going to do today with their mothers, and absolutely be a blessing that way. I remember a story of one. It's lost there for a second. Pastor was not. I think he got kind of out of the will of God, I guess, and she kept the kids in church, while he was going through that. And I remember her saying, she'd ask him every Sunday, "You going to church?" He'd say, "Nope." She'd say, "Okay, me and the kids are going," but he really wanted to go. And then finally they rejoined each other. And it's just a beautiful thing to look out and see mother, father. While we're having little glitches this morning, everything else seems fine, but for some reason, glitching a little bit. Sorry about that, but we'll try to persevere here for a few more minutes. But everybody has these wonderful memories of their mom. Foods they made. Things that they did, sayings they had, whatever that is. You have that. And good morning, Broski. And it's something that is you can't even really put it into words. It just affects you really deep down inside. it's a great comfort. And when they're there, I remember even when my mom was in bad health, I would go. Eventually, she ended up in a nursing home, and I would go by the nursing home and visit her. And sometimes that was just for counsel, wisdom, mother's wisdom, and she would be giving me, from her perspective, caring a lot for me, giving me advice and stuff. And then one day, and I heard a guy say this one time, before my parents passed away, and he said, uh, "Did I rescue Paul from the aliens?" I don't know that Paul actually picked up on the fact of what the one wolf said. I don't know if it because that was on purpose. I will admit that. Shame, shame. That was on purpose. I threw that in there, and I was expecting him to say something, and he didn't. I don't know that he's rescued yet, so there'll probably be a version 2 of that. We hopefully we'll get him back. He's parts unknown today because I don't know where he's at. So who knows? Flying through the universe. I don't know. But it's a guy told me once. He said, when your parents die, you can never go home again. And there's, I laughed about it too. Hey, Dave is a hit. I just constantly churn these ideas, man, and sometimes they're straight on just comedy, and sometimes they're whatever. I've been in a mode. I've been in a mode lately. I've been on fire, I guess you'd say. Now I've switched over to Chaser now and giving him a hard time. So he's loving it. He likes that attention. But it's true, you can't go home when really go home, and you can go like I felt for like my granddaughter yesterday. She wanted to go I was working some, but my son took one of my grandchildren, maybe all of them. I know he took one of them to the cemetery, and she called me from the cemetery. And it's so hard. I mean, this is 2 weeks today, and she wanted to go. It was little things she was telling me, and it means a lot to her. I remember, Kaylee lost a schoolmate one time. Something happened medically, and she lost it. I'll never forget the care and concern that my Kaylee gave over the memorial that they were doing at the graduation from elementary school. And, it spoke to me a lot about how she would be and protective and all that with things. And she's been like that with her grandmother, which she called Nanny. And, I really felt for her yesterday, but we talked and by phone or video, and she was telling me things that she was doing there. And it meant a lot to her. It might not seem like much to somebody, but it did to her. And today there will be those who visit cemeteries, and that's they'll go and honor that and lay flowers or something. And so my thoughts go out to them. Cemeteries will be very visited today in a lot of cases, or but if we say it and we heard it, but if our parents are alive, especially mom today, make that attempt to connect up and enjoy that, because you just never know. It happens so very quickly, and life is fleeting. It appears for a little while. It's like as a vapor, as it says, and then it fadeth away. I mean, it just there's time in this life is so fleeting, and it happens so fast. And but try to have just give praise unto God for the mom that you have or had or whatever, and she's still here because she's living inside of you. The blood you carry and the DNA and all the memories and all the sayings and all the things you have. There'll be a lot of things about your mom and dad too. But if you know somebody that maybe their mom and maybe their kids are not here with us anymore, reach out and wish them a happy Mother's Day. There's people like that. I hope that the nursing homes are filled up with visitors today and visiting grandmas and those that are still here with us, maybe in a diminished capacity, but still have life in their lungs, and go celebrate them today, and just have a great time with your mom today, and get some laughter. Yeah, laughter doeth good like a medicine. You'll have joy about it. Be something to pass on. I remember when my mom, it's always about grandkids after when the grandkids come along. And for my wife, it was the little dog. After that, it was like she just loved it. She'd light up when the little doggy was up, up where she could get a hold of her. She just loved that dog. But we go see my mom passed on to one of the grandchildren were born, and we she would that little girl would come in the room, she'd just light up, So it means a lot, and it'll help them too on this day or whatever. And if you have lost them, like I said, pray for each other, and even if it's tough, you'll still appreciate uh, the fact of all the times you had, all the blessed memories, the good times, struggles. We all go through tough times, but you find a way to laugh and appreciate those times today, and do something special. I imagine I don't know I don't know how anybody gets in a restaurant today. I mean, it'll be crazy uh, today and packed out, and that's good though. That's good, and it'll be a good day for a lot of people, but a hard day in others, and and be the best version of what we can be. If we're a dad or a mom, be the best version of that we can be, and help our kids along and grandkids along, give them the wisdom that we hopefully have. Hopefully, we've gained some wisdom along the way. And you just think of moms and all the sacrifice that they have given for us. And, moms will go without things to make sure others have. My wife would certainly do that. She was always thinking about other people. I would tell her, I said, you got to start doing for you. She would say, I know. And at times she would, but many times she would just, she'd show me all this stuff that she'd gotten for other people. And I'm like, well, what? And this is for you. What for her was the satisfaction of knowing that she had did for others. And, that was her. That was what fed her, what made her feel excited, to know that she had helped others, and not just family. I mean, people she considered family. She was always thinking of something somebody needed or wanted or something like that. So they always say it's hard to live up to be a Proverbs 31 candidate. Uh, I don't think that in Proverbs 31 or anywhere through the scripture it is saying that we're perfect, because we're not, and we know we're not. We all have our strengths, and we all have our faults, and but it is hitting on those qualities that moms have of making sure the clothes are right, or making sure the dinners are right, and just taking care of the home and taking care of the kids. And like I said, years later, you could be those senses are very strong. Whether it's like I said, something that she baked or something, and you smell that, it'll take you back every single time, or a perfume she wore or something like that. When you smell that, I mean, it really does take you back. Or you hear a song or something that was very important to your mom or spouse, whatever the case may be, and it'll take you back in time instantaneously. You'll just be transported there. So today, spend time sharing those things that were funny and good memories, and with them if they're alive, and have some laughter if they're not. Just think on those things that are the times you went with mom to do this, or something happened. It was very meaningful to you, or funny. Moms can be funny. My wife could be so funny. She'd do some things that just crack me up, and and making the kids laugh. I just think of all those times, all the way when the kids were little, all the way up, and things that she just enjoyed her family, and laughing with them. And think about that today, even though it might be a tough day, and then give God the praise. Give God the praise for the blessing of having a mother. It might have been limited. I remember my grandfather. I only knew him for 5 years. I mean, I was 5 years old when he passed. But I want to tell you, in a short time, with 5 years, and memories, people remember back, at different ages. Some say they can remember to 3 years old, or 4 years old, or 5 years old. I don't know when that started for me. I know it was before five, but I don't remember how much before. But my memories of him are packed in there. I have so many memories that are so clear to me, and always have been. And so it was very much, even though it was only 5 years, it felt like a lifetime of things. I was like, I had a best friend. He was unfortunately murdered when we were both 21, and I thought, boy, he lived a full life in 21 years. There was so many things, so many stories that I have about him, in great times and funny times and stuff. And so sometimes, people leave us. My wife's dad was an example. He passed in a truck driving accident for his work when she was 13. So that was always hard for her. Father's Days were hard for her because she had lost him, but she had a lot of memories, and she would share those things with me. I never met him. He was obviously gone way before, many, many years before I came on the scene. I think me and Lynn met when she was 23, 22, 23 or something like that. So it had been, about 10 years. So I didn't know, but she shared a lot of stories about him and stuff. So felt like I kind of knew him a little bit, never met him. But that's because through her, I would get what he was like and the stories and stuff like that. I always wondered, would he like would he liked me, like he want me around, That's a tough dynamic. We do have to again get off here in a minute and go up the mountain, and that's always a fun thing to do. It's a little different now going up the mountain without her, but we're going to go, and hopefully some of the kiddos can show up. Unless they've got other places hopefully they'll be there this morning, and we're going to have a breakfast, and that ought to be good. The men are fast away preparing that right now, and I appreciate them. We're a small group, but what a great, loving group, and I appreciate them every single day. And Broski, however you celebrate today, and we'll try to find out about Paul. I don't know. We may have to do on the ship. Something's going on. I could have a little fun with this. I have to be careful. He know how to get me back, but just a little bit. What's funny, Broski, is we're trying to get. I'm trying to get Paul in that particular platform, but he is not advanced enough in his in that channel creator, being created and big enough that he can take part yet. So it's just killing him. He's like, I need to be doing this. I could do this, and so he's kind of locked right now. I'm trying to get him there. in a future day, not too long from now, there'll be combos in there. But anyways, it's about having fun and seize the day. Today's another Sunday that we got. We can praise Jesus Christ and be all. We can. It's like, there's no law against the fruits of the Spirit. You can have all of it you want. That's the same with Jesus. You can have all of him you want today if you want him. You can, take on. I see so many people, and I get it. Listen, I get it. People struggle emotionally and everything. There's all kinds of depression and stuff like that. But I said this to people the other day. We have, there is that part of us that we have to navigate. But I've said it, and I always say it, and I will live it because I firmly, faithfully believe in it. Jesus Christ is your answer for every single thing you need. He is all those things. It doesn't matter what it is. And so if you're trying to get over something, he will be the answer. If you're trying to, do something that will be, for the kingdom, he's going to help you and guide you. And he is the answer for every problem, every need, every praise, whatever it is, he's the answer. So I always hated when I hear people say, say, I just can't quit this thing or whatever it is. I'm like, no, that's a cop out. Jesus is the answer. If you will take him on enough, he will get you through it. Doesn't mean it won't be tough because we have the flesh, but the more we walk in the Spirit, the more we call on Jesus, the more that we will be able to fight and win, not just fight them, but win the battles. Pick up your cross daily and go. And for me, a time of grieving, we will have that time. You got to let that progress. But you won't find me on the side of the road laying there playing, being victim that why did this have to happen now? And I just can't go on. That won't be me because I have preached that and I have believed in that with everything I am, because that is the truth. And when we are at our lowest, he was still the answer. He'll still pick us up. He's still walking with us. He's carrying us. He's doing all those things. And to do other is to deny the power and the strength and the might of Jesus Christ. And I will never do that. So he'll get you through the dark days. He'll get you through the dark times. Yeah, we in our flesh will say, I can't do this. It's too much for me. Well, sure it is. I'll say this before I get off here. I never liked it. I've always hated this, that people say this. I don't know where it comes from, but I absolutely stand against it. And it, because if people just sit back, the intent of it, I get. I know why they're saying it, but it's horrible. And they will say, God will not put more on you than you can handle. That is such a lie. God will allow you to go through things. It's a testing. And if you don't have more than you can handle, how do you ever rely on him? How do you ever call on the strength of Jesus? You got to be beyond your strength. you've got to be beyond what you can handle. That's when you really walk with God. That's when you really know what it is to have Jesus living in you and showing you and guiding you and strengthening you and saving you and all these things. If you are the strength, if you're the one handling it, and you're saying He won't put any more on you, then you're saying you're the answer. That's bogus. I deny that wholeheartedly. He absolutely will let things get on you and put you through a time of testing. It toughens us up for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You wonder why you're going through so much stuff. God's got great things for you. He's got to take you through times of testing. He allows it to happen. And absolutely you're going to have those times on your knees where you're saying, I can't, but He can. And so I just deny that. I think people say it, they mean well by it. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying I cringe when I hear it, because it is impossible. The scriptures tell us it is without faith, it is impossible to please God. It says that, I think, 5 times in the scriptures. It repeats it. If it doesn't repeat it just for sake of repeating it, it's reissuing it and verifying it unto you to listen up and to walk in faith. If you never have more than you can handle, how do you walk in faith? That's not faith. Faith is when you know He's going to carry you through. You walk through it and you're trusting for every answer, every valley that you go through, every time. It doesn't mean, like I said, doesn't mean there ain't tough times. We've seen all the people in the Bible. They didn't handle things always the right way going through their life. They handled things very poorly, sometimes very sinfully. And God let us see that so we can see all those times. Some of the greatest, I don't know if it's right to say heroes in the Bible, the people we really admire. But look at not only what they did, but look at what they also did in the wrong way, or they failed at. God lets us see that. It's not to put them down, just to show us that they're human. They weren't walking on the clouds perfect all the time. They had just as many problems as you do, if not more. But they did great things for God, because why? They had faith in Him, not in their own abilities. And we have to realize that and draw on His strength today. So yeah, we can get through. I can get through the time that I'm going through. You can get through the time that you're going through if we will trust in Him enough for the answer, because He is the answer. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and no man cometh unto the Father but by Him. And so it's all about Him. All the scriptures are about Him. It's through Him, and we will see Him one day in the by and by. And if Mom's already gone, she was a Christian, she's with Jesus, like my wife is there. I know where she's at. I know in whom we have believed, and I know where she's at, and I know that I'll see her again. It's just a short space of time, and we'll get through this. And there's work to be done. Let's work while it is day, for night cometh, and let's keep marching on for Jesus. This world needs active, dedicated, on fire, bold Christians in this day and time. The pressure's mounting up. If you think it ain't, it's nothing right now. It's coming. That wave of pressure is coming for all Christians. And for those that are in America, we better get tough. We better get ready and get our faith meter real high right now, because there's some hard days coming. But Jesus is the answer, not government and not any particular political party or anything like that. Jesus is the answer. They'll all fail you because they're doomed to fail, right? Anything that is apart from Jesus and His Word, it will fail you. It always will in some way. Have a great day. We'll be back on this afternoon or evening. I've got a couple of shows we'll probably be doing. Broski, you behave out there. If you see Paul out there on the thing somewhere, give him a hard time. Ask him about that probing. For those that don't know, if you look on our socials, you'll see it was really meant to be timed around the UFO data dump, the document data, whatever, and I just threw that in there and kind of throw that there. Hey, Jake, God bless you from the great state of Mississippi. Good morning. Thank you for the like and the share. Happy Mother's Day to you, my friend. You have a blessed day. And pray for my family. My sister did get back to Nevada late last night. She flew out yesterday afternoon. And by I think it was before midnight, I think she got home. So she got home. Happy Sunday to you, brother. I think she got home in pretty good time. Not too much going on. And so she'll be back in June. She's going to help me with some things. And I was waiting on that. Oh my gosh. I need to send you the little video and that I seen yesterday. It's sort of some kind of a cultural thing. I don't know. I've never seen it before, I need to send that to you. I need to send you a link to the email, and then I will send you what Chaser said. Oh my gosh, I was dying last night. I was dying laughing. I was like, I can't even. There's a lot of things running through my head. I was thinking my brain probably needs to quit thinking, but it's good to laugh. Have a blessed day. I'm headed up the mountain, and Lord willing, we'll see you this afternoon. I know that's kind of short, but I have to be at church earlier. Want to be there, and I just have to be, want to be, and we'll go out with a song. Jesus is alive. Yes, he is. Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate you, Jake. Yeah, it was 2 weeks today, about 4:30 something, 2 weeks ago today that she passed, and it was just very, very quick, very painless. She crossed over very quickly and very painless. A lot of grace, and I'm thankful for that. Me and my granddaughter was here at home with her at the time. That day, I was with her all day. I was just all day long, and we had a good day up until that moment. So, and we'll do it again. We will do it again. But I appreciate your thoughts, and I certainly pray for us. Amen. We need that. We do need that. Everybody needs prayer. Everybody needs to help bear a burden. And I know I just saw a guy that I'm friends with online. And he lost his wife 2 days ago. It's horrible. It's really horrible. But that is we'll find those times of separation for all of us. I mean, we're not going to live forever in these bodies, that's for sure. But have a great day, and I do got to go, and we'll see you. We'll see you after a while, hopefully. Take care.
He didn't lay a headstone in the garden. He didn't dig a hole and pile the dirt. He didn't take his sandals or his tunic. They were laying there beside where he was hurt. And Jesus is alive. He didn't stay inside, and he'll come back someday for those he left behind. There were 2 disciples running to the graveyard, but they didn't find the body they had laid. It was folded up inside the empty linen that they wrapped him in to carry him away. And Jesus is alive. He didn't stay inside, and he'll come back someday for those he left behind. Are you looking for the living among the dead that you won't see again? 'Cause the grave is gonna be the same as Jesus, 'cause he died, but then he rose again. And Jesus is alive. He didn't stay inside, and he'll come back someday for those he left behind. Jesus is alive. He didn't stay inside, and he'll come back someday to those he left behind.